In this video, we're going to have a quick look at the new seam allowance functions in Style3D. So let's jump in. First thing we need to do is go over to user settings and go to user interface and set the default width of the seam allowance. I've set mine to 0.9 centimeters. I usually work with 3/8 of an inch, which is around 0.9 centimeters. Under pattern, if I show seam allowance, I currently have none, so nothing shows up. I can simply go and box select this whole piece and boom, everything has my 3/8 seam allowance, which is fantastic. However, there's parts of the pant where the seam allowance is not going to be even. For example, I'm going to have an 1.5 inch outlet at the back. So I blend to this point where I'm going to have a notch eventually down to a 3/8 seam here, but then I want to get up to 1.5 for an outlet. So it's quite simple. I click on this. We're working in a clockwise direction. So I go over to the property editor and I can click on unequal width. And so I have a width at the start and the width at the end. And the start of it, I'm going to set to 1.5, which is 1.5 inch, and there's my outlet. And I'm going to do the same thing on the thigh. I'm going to go unequal width, and I'm going to start with 1.125, which is a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, and then a 3/4 inch outlet. If I wanted a jeans type outlet, I could set this to say 0.75, and then I've got my step. It's really fantastic and easy to use. Now let's look at a jacket. So seam allowance is set to being visible, and I don't have any. It means there are no seam allowances. So when I click on the seam allowance function up at the top, this right here, I can just box select everything if I want seam allowances applied all over the place. I could go individually line by line, but since most of them I want a seam allowance, I'm going to start by doing that. And then I'm going to go in and start editing because they're not all 3/8. So now I'm going to set the hems. I'm going to multiple select them using shift and change that to 1.375, which is 1 3/8, which is what I use. And see how it's blended from here and it's created a nice little step, which is exactly what I want. These I'm going to change to 3/16, which is 0.1875. And again, it's created my little step here, just like I want. And these I'm going to set to 5/8, which is 0.625. And there we're pretty much done. If I didn't want seams here, I can just select these and delete. It's that simple. What just happened here? Oh, I had them selected and set them to 5/8. That's wrong. Let's fix that. 0.1875. I'll do the same on the facing. Here, I don't want seams. So I'm going to just delete those. The same with here. Here, I want to set this to 2 inches. I already have my hem value for my top sleeve here, so that's done. I can go and change this corner, mirror angle right, and change this also. This will be a mirror angle left. These require a special corner that's still coming, I'm told. And there's my seam allowances. I mean, it was really that simple.